Hi guys, it is Fightside here with yet another video, and today we're going to be breaking down Luke Campbell and Loma. Let's break it down. Essentially, what I want to discuss today is a fight breakdown and a technique breakdown in one video. 2 for the price of 1. You guys can thank me later. But nah, essentially what I want to discuss in this video is how to fight opponents that are taller than you, bigger than you, or both. So, I'll give you guys my measurements. I'm about 5'9". I have a 68-inch reach, and I'm about 180, 181 pounds walking around, give or take. Essentially, basically a super middleweight. Middleweight probably be slightly too much for me to cut. 18 pounds, 10% of my body weight. That's like 162. That is not the middleweight limit. Good middleweight is like 175 pounds tops. 170, 175 pounds tops, give or take. A good super middleweight is anywhere from like 178, 179 to like 185 rehydration. So I'd probably be around like a 178 to 180. So I'm just a super middleweight, right? Or a middleweight if I were in the amateurs, which is 165, basically super middleweight. The point I'm trying to make is that I'd be consistently fighting guys taller than me. Taller than me, like a Diego Pacheco, like a Jaime Munguia, significantly taller than me, maybe not more brolic than me, maybe not stronger than me, but if you get a guy like David Benavidez, who's probably the biggest super middleweight out there, he's like 6'2", and 195 pounds. The guy is gigantic. At that point, man, you're getting a guy who's probably not only taller than me, but definitely bigger than me. You know what I mean? So, how do you exactly deal with these taller, bigger fighters? Do you move down a weight class? Do you handicap them? How do you deal with them? Well, I'm going to discuss that in this video too. Oh, by the way, you don't do either of those things. So, essentially, how to be effective as a smaller fighter in a bigger weight class, which is what I would be. I'd be short, stocky, and brolic, like kind of like Canelo Alvarez, but I would not be that big. How to be effective, essentially, is fighting small, and we're about to use Lomachenko as our guinea pig for the breakdown. I think he's the perfect example. I'm going to be pedantically studying tape on him to figure out how to fight taller, bigger fighters. So one of the main ways to close distance on a bigger fighter is throwing the 1-2-1 combination. Essentially what this does is you're throwing in volume and you're closing the distance rapidly because a taller fighter likes to control the outside. They like to use their jab. They like to keep you at arm's length, and because they usually have a longer reach. Like Lomachenko's only 5'7", a 66-inch reach, and he's maybe coming into the ring a $145. Luke is 5'9", 71-inch reach, and at least a $150 coming into the ring. So yeah, definitely at a size and severe height and reach disadvantage, especially reach. Throw the 1-2-1. This will not only confuse them, but close the distance rapidly and negate their jab because they'll be forced back in a straight line onto the ropes or the corners if they don't pivot away. Another thing Loma did perfectly against Luke Campbell was he's moving his head off the center line to make him a harder target to hit and close distance better, as well as work better on the inside where he would be better anyway. What do I mean by this? It's pretty simple, this part actually. Smaller fighter, smaller reach, more compact, usually stronger. Taller fighters usually against smaller fighters usually just like to pile up points and shit. Usually the smaller fighters, the smaller, stockier fighter is usually the stronger of the two fighters in this instance. As well as when Loma moves his head off the center line, makes it easier for him to throw power hooks and remain defensively responsible. Move your head off the center line, they punch where your head is. Punch where your head was, not where it's going to be. That's also pretty self-explanatory, as well as you lean to one side, you load up that, for example, right, you lean to the right side, you load up the right hook. You lean to the left side, you load up the left hook. You're loading up that hand throw power shots. Another thing is that you want to shuffle forward and throw in volume. Same thing as the 1-2-1, but you want to shuffle forward. That one, pretty short point. Another thing you can do to confuse a taller fighter is use constant feints to really confuse the taller fighter and give up his jab. What do I mean by this? Lomachenko was changing levels. Probably go over that more in another video. He's basically what a level changes. You dip down, you squat your legs, make it seem, well, level change feint, is when you make it seem like you're going to throw a shot to the body. You spring back up, you make them flinch, make them drop their hands to protect their body, and then you start landing shots to the head. He was also using feints to get in on the inside to close the range because Luke is too busy reacting to Loma's feints instead of actually punching. He's more worried about what could come instead of what actually is coming. That's another way you can confuse a taller fighter. Fighting a taller fighter is no easy task. Whether they are tall and lanky or taller and slightly more muscular, it is never an easy task. You use these points I made and follow what Loma does, you will have great success. This is Fight Size signing out.